Hi guys, Digital Principal and Computer Organization. The subject code is CS3351. Second unit, synchronous sequential logic and sixth part video. Here I am going to explain you what is meant by state diagram, what is meant by state table, and what is meant by state reduction or state minimization. State diagram in the synchronous sequential circuit it is a pictorial representation of behavior of the sequential circuit. So this state diagram is converted to the state table. In this state diagram, how many present states are available when the present state is filled inside the circle? See here there will be four circles, right? So here you will have four present state. For this present state, you need to find out the next state for input equal to 0 and when input equal to 1. See this value 0 by 1, right? In the this numerator value is known as input value and this denominator value is known as output value. The present state is filled in the inside this circle, inside the circle. So what it means, for example, take this present state of B. When the present state is B and input is equal to 1 means the next state of B is the B itself, because this directed line mentioned this same variable. Like that, when present state is B and input for this is input and this one is output, right? When input B equal to 0, the next state of B is C. See here the B to C, there will be a directed, that is forward arrow is mentioned for B. When for present state B, you need to find out the two values. One is for when I will mention that input value as x equal to 0 and one more input is there, right? When x equal to 1. When present state B for x equal to 0, the next state is B itself. See this, the B mention, when x equal to 0, the next state is here C. So this is C. When B is the present state and x is given as input value is 1, the next state of B is the present state itself, that is B. Like that, see here the take this present state as C. When you give input as 0, your next state for this C is C itself. If you give input as 1 for C, your next state of C is D. I will show it in state table. For Mealy model, the state diagram is represented like this. For Moore model, the state diagram is represented like this. In Mealy model, so this will be the input and this will be the output. And this is present state and this is the next state of A when input is given as 1. When input is given as 0, the next state of A is A itself, because the curve is mentioned that A itself. This is the Moore model of state diagram. There will be a difference between the both. See here, the input and output is mentioned outside, but here the output of the value is mentioned inside of this by the inside with the present state A/0. Here B by 1. Here D by 0. So this 0 is mentioned with this D. Likewise, this 0 is mentioned with slash C. Like here also see here 1 by 1. This 1 is mentioned inside the circle. So this is the Moore model of state diagram. In this arrow mark you will mention only the input value and the output value is mentioned with the present state of the state diagram. In your exam point of view, most of the questions are asked related to the Mealy model. They will give you some diagram and they will ask you to transform into the state table. This in state table, if the state table is mentioned for Mealy state model, you will have present state, next state and output state. For Moore model, you will have only the present state and only one output value. Okay, here you will have two values, that is x equal to 0 and x equal to 1 in Mealy model. Here x equal to 0 and only one output value is mentioned as per the diagram. So take it this first Mealy model. This is the state diagram. In this state diagram, how many present states are available? So see here, one is A, B, C and D. So there will be 4 present states is given in this state diagram. First of all, write it down the column present state. Afterwards, mention this A, B, C, D present state. Then you need to find out the next state of this present state variable. In next state, you will have two values when x equal to 0 and x equal to 1, right? So when x equal to 0 is given as input, what will be the next state of A? See here, this is A and x is the input. Input value is 0. This is input value 0. What will be the next state of A? That is A itself. That's what's mentioned here. That is A. When x equal to 1, that is input is given as 1. See here, when present state is A and the input is 1, what will be the next state of this A? That is B, because this is mentioned with the directed line or with forward arrow. That here you need to write B. Afterwards, write it down the output for this present state A. When present state is A and output is 0. See here, present state is A and output is 0. This is output is 0. You will get an value of 1. Right. So see this. So if x equal to 0, this is this 0 value, you will get an output value of 1. When x equal to 1, you will get a value of 0. So you need to write this output value when x equal to 0 and x equal to 1 in this both the column. Afterwards, take the value as B. Now this is the present state. Okay, when x equal to 1, that is input is given as 1, means what will be your next state? See here, if the given input is given as 1 means for B, your next state is B itself. The curve is mentioned this B. So you need to write when input is given as 1, the next state of B is B. When input is given as 0, see here input is given as 0. The next state of B is C. So it is mentioned with this arrow. So you need to write here C. Afterwards, you need to write the output when x equal to 0 and x equal to 1. When x equal to 0, the output will be 0, right? See here, this is input value and this is output value. So when x equal to 0 for B, the output will be 0. When x equal to 1, the output will be 1. That's what mentioned here. Next state is C. This is C. In C, when x equal to 0, what is your next state? That's C itself. When x equal to 1, if you give 1 as the input for C present state, you will get a next state of D. So when x equal to 0, see here x equal to 0, your present state is C. Sorry, your next state is C, and when input is equal to 1 and your next state is D. You need to find out that output of this two input values. See here, if you give C input as for C present state, if you give input value as 0, you will get output as 0. If you give input value as 1, you will get a value of 0 as output. So both you will have 0 as output when x equal to 0 and x equal to 1. And this is your last present state, that is D. When the numerator is input value, the denominator is output value. When D is present state, if you give 0 as input, what is the next state of D? That D itself. So you need to write here D. The present state is D and the input is 1. What will be your next state? See here, this is your input is 1. When the present state is D, you will get a next state as A. The arrow mark is mentioned here, right? So A. So you need to write here as A. Afterwards, you need to find out that output value for 0 and 1. See here, if you give input as 0 means you will find out the value output as 1. If you give input as 1 means your output value is 0. So you need to write here 0. This is the state table for Mealy model. And this is the state table of Moore model. In Moore model, you no need to mention about the two input, that is x equal to 0 and x equal to 1. Usually, the main difference between Mealy and Moore model is, in Mealy model, it will the output is depend on present state and the input. But in Moore model, the output is only depend on the present state. That's why this column has only one output. So it's not going to bother about the input values. The same procedure is followed here also. பண்ணிக்கோ. Fill this column with present state. See here in this state diagram, there will be four states, right? One is A, B, C, and D. So first of all, fill it down the present state given in your state diagram. Afterwards, write it down the two input value. One is x equal to 0 and another one is x equal to 1. As the same procedure is followed in this Moore model. When x equal to 0, see here, when input is given as 0, what will be the next state of this A? The next state of A is A itself. So you need to write this A value here. Afterwards, when x equal to 1, if you give 1 as the input value, the next state of A is, that is B. So you need to write here B. What will be the output of this A? See here, we will mention here, right? So you need to write this value. Output value is 0. Afterwards, write down the, find out the next state for B. When x equal to 0 for B, the next state is C. See here, this is the input for B and your next state is C. The arrow mark is mentioned here. When input is given as 1 for present state B, your next state is B itself. So you need to write here B. Afterwards, see these inside the circle. This is B by 1. This is the output of B. So you need to write this 1. Afterwards, present state is C. When C input is given as 0, what will be the next state of this C? The C itself. This directed line is mentioned this C itself. That's why you need to write here C. When x equal to 1, that is if you give input value as 1, what will be your next state of this C? The arrow mark is mentioned here and the mentioned variable is D. So you need to write D here. Afterwards, output is C. What will be the output of C? C by 0. You need to write output as 0. And what your last present state, that is D. In D, when you give input as 0, you will you will have the next state D itself. So you will write here D. If we give input as 1, the next state of D is A. The arrow mark mention here no. So you need to write here A. And to find out the output, see the inside the circle. In this circle, D by 0. So this 0 will be the output of D state. So you need to write here 0. In my previous video, I will explain about what is the mean by Mealy and Moore model and what are all the difference between Mealy and Moore model. Next topic is state reduction. What is mean by state reduction? One more name is there. The state reduction is also known as state minimization. State minimization. What is meant by state reduction or state minimization? For example, the state diagram is given for present state of 8 or 9 variable, means it is very big diagram and we can't able to mm, draw the logical circuit for that state diagram. So what is the procedure for state reduction or state minimization? If the state diagram is given, right, you need to convert this state diagram to state table. Afterwards, you need to reduce that state table. For example, if the given state diagram for 10 statements, you need to convert this state diagram to state table. Afterwards, with the help of the state minimization, this state table is minimized from 10 state to either 6 or 5 state. Now your state is reduced and and you will easily draw the logical circuit of the particular sequential circuit. This state reduction will be explained with the some of the examples in next video, and it will be one of the important topic in exam point of view. So state reduction, state minimization, or and state diagram and state table will be asked you in 2 mark question as well as in part B and part C. How will you reduce this state from state 10 to state 5 with the help of the state elimination method? So in state table itself, you will find out the same similar values. If it has same similar values, means you will cancel one of the value and the state is reduced to from